Welcome to another edition of Postgame Talk. Let's talk Houston Rockets. Tonight, the Rockets lost 116-109 in Toronto. Salute to you, wise citizen. Salute to you, Deborah Grant. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday evening. Won't be a full hour. We're going to try to cut these post games a little bit shorter than an hour and save the hour and change shows for the Saturday Let's Talk Houston Rockets shows. But Solo, D-Lo. G-Lo, how are you doing? But Solo, I'm going to pull it up because you brought up Tari Eason and his numbers. Let's see if I can bring it up here. My man took 15 shots. Tari Eason took 15 shots, only made 5 of them. 0-2 from 3, but he had 5 steals, 6 boards, 5 assists, 2 turnovers. The killer, 2 killers for the Raptors, Rocket killers, Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby. I think, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I think Fred VanVleet stripped KPJ 3 times. Just picked his pocket clean 3 times. Might have been 4. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that, but let me know. But Fred VanVleet had a going 32 points game high, 7 for 16 from 3. Drop coverage sometimes, miscommunication sometimes by the Rockets. Got lost on back screens. A lot of different issues. But overall, it was in the paint, 50-50. But here's a stat. Here's a stat right here. Into that stat. Rockets only had, 16 turnovers. But the Raptors turned that into 31 points. 31 points off the Rockets, 16 turnovers. Rockets had 4 turnovers in a 2-minute span in the third quarter. Went from down 4 to down 12. In a blink of an eye. Good question about it. That's why I started a little later than right after games to find out why LP was on the bench those final 2-3 minutes. Could have been exhausted like Tari Eason. Could have been tired. Don't know. But I wanted to see if Jonathan Fagan or Vanessa asked him that, Coach Silas, that question post game. But LP played well. He was tired. But once again, he did his part. The turnovers, those live ball turnovers. 16 turnovers is above average, but it's not the 20 and 24 that the Rockets have had sometimes this season. But 31 points off those turnovers. Minnesota had 34 points off the Rockets' 24 turnovers a couple games ago. That was 24 turnovers. 31 points off 16 turnovers. That's why the Rockets are now 2-10 on this young season. Raptors are 7-5. Rockets lost 116-109. KJ Martin, solid once again. He's playing great. 13 points, 5 or 6 from the floor. 2 great blocks. 2 for 3 from 3, 1 for 2 from the line. So he did his part. Eric Gordon did not do his part. 3 for 10 from the floor, 1 for 6 from 3. He did make all 3 of his foul shots. 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover. Jalen Green, 21 points. Team high, shot the ball efficiently, but only overall, but just 2 for 6 from 3. 6 boards, 6 dimes, 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers for him, and 4 turnovers for Scoot as well. So it's just one of those things. Rockets were there, but didn't do enough to seal the deal. They didn't do enough to seal the deal. That's it. That's the bottom line. They did not do enough to seal the deal. So just another loss. Give me your thoughts on it. Let's talk about it. KPJ, 12 points, 11 assists, 4 turnovers. And I think 3 of those 4 were straight up Fred VanVleet steals. So Raptors had 12 steals, Rockets had 16 turnovers. 12 steals, Rockets had 16 turnovers. So, yep, KJ's playing well. Rockets playing the Pelicans in New Orleans on Saturday at 7 o'clock. But Jabbar had a bounce-back game. I think he's over his flu. Rockets really didn't call it flu officially, But based on what Jabari told Jonathan Fagan, it was flu, chills, body aches, felt like he was near death. But Jabari bounced back, had a solid game. So that's a good sign. Did not shoot the ball well from three, 2 for 8 from three, 15 points, but did have 10 boards. So bits and pieces here and there, just not enough to get the dub. 26 for 31 from the line. The Raptors only went to the line for 20 attempts. So the Rockets took 11 more free throws than Toronto. They were more aggressive. Raptors were 15 for 44 from three. Rockets were 9 for 35 from three. So that's made up that difference in free throw shooting, free throw attempts right there as well. So Raptors are one of the teams I admire. Like tall guys, long arms, athletic skill guys. But that little general, Fred VanVleet, the straw that stirs that drink. He had them rolling, got them going. OG started them off with 3 triples in the first quarter. But Rockets in the first quarter, 37 points. They were rolling, 37 points in our first quarter, 14 for 20 from the floor, 70%, 6 for 6 from the foul line. And then the second quarter, 4 for 21, 1 for 13 from three. Night and day difference between the first quarter and second quarter. Rockets went from up 37-29 after one to down 57-54 at halftime. And then the third quarter, 2-minute spell, when they turned it over 4 times, 4 turnovers in 2 minutes, and their deficit went from 4 to 12. Just like that. So it's just, WK, how are you? Alan Luna, how are you? It's just, they're not good enough to have a 2-minute spell from hell. One, but they were there. They competed. They gave themselves a chance. But second quarter, missed almost everything they attempted. Third quarter, to their credit, that 2 minutes from hell to go from 4 down to 12 down. But they close out the quarter well. But, when you shoot yourself in the foot and keep climbing up that mountain, they were down 4 going into the fourth quarter, despite that 2 minutes from hell. So they had moments of good play, but they had some moments of bad play. And that bad play is the reason why they are now 2-10. In the paint, fourth quarter, 16-10 Rockets. But that third quarter, 18-12 second chance points after 3 for the Raptors. Third quarter, 6-4 points in the paint in the third quarter is 18-10 Raptors. 18-10. Hey, Solo, I've said this for a while. I believe, and now Eric Gordon, his shot is not falling consistently enough to really warrant him starting. He's not shooting well enough, and the game was over. Okay. Once again, he missed a left-hand layup, final shot attempt of the game. He had a drive, I guess going for 2 for 1. Felt he was fouled, missed another layup. Complained, he did what Eric Gordon does, hands to the referee, was a foul, stayed back down the court to yell at the refs for a few seconds. I mean, Rockets can get that from a youngster, rather than a veteran. You're going to miss layups. I mean, Tari Eason did plenty of that himself. But Daishin Nixon, let me give some shine to Usman Garuba again. 14 minutes, 8 boards, 3 assists, and 4 points, 2 for 5 from the floor. Even on the shots you want Us to take really are putbacks, layups, dunks, things like that. But good court vision from Usman, 3 dimes in 14 minutes. Rockets got 9 assists from the bench. 5 from Tari, 3 from Oos, 1 from Dacian. 9 of the team's 29 assists from your bench guys. That's pretty solid. But those turnovers, missed layups, that's at the wrong time. So it's just one, they play well enough to still lose. So is that frustrating? How do you guys feel about tonight overall? The effort, the inconsistency from quarter to quarter, because that first half was that to a T. First quarter was great basketball for the Rockets. Let me see how many assists they had in their first quarter on those 37 points. 14 buckets, 11 assists in the first quarter. 14 for 20, 70% from the floor, including 3 for 5 from 3, 11 assists in that first quarter. Can't get much better than that. But then they follow that up with that second quarter, 4 for 21 from the floor, but they did have 4 assists. So each of the 4 baskets got an assist, came from an assist. But 11 dimes in that first quarter for 14 baskets, played well, and they didn't play well. Up 8 and down 3 at halftime. So, Derek, what do you think? I mean, this is the issue. This is the thing. One of the things about young teams, they're not consistent. They don't play consistent well and long enough. Stretches here, but they just aren't consistent for. It's hard. Coaches said, players said, you're not going to play consistently well 48 minutes. Okay, you're going to have some rough spots in the game, but play well for 11 minutes out of a 12-minute quarter. You can't have your bad spots balloon and explode into long runs. And that's what got the Rockets went from 12 up to 12 down. Both teams had large leads of 12 in this game. And I think, let me see the final score. I saw overtime. How about that? I guess, let's see. Before I came on, OKC was up 1 in the first overtime over the Bucks. Now they're down 4 in the second overtime. And who won? Let me see. Because the last thing I was trying to check. So Memphis did hold on to beat the Spurs by 2, 124-122. So, but yep, the Pelicans and the Rockets face off this Saturday in New Orleans. Pels beat the Bulls, I think, by 4 in Chicago this evening at 115-111. So it's going to be a tough matchup for the Rockets. The fourth and final game of the 4-game road trip. Rockets played better. They won in Orlando, making those 24 threes after just giving the ball away in Saturday in Minnesota for 34 points off turnovers. And now tonight, 31 points off turnovers. So got to be consistent, got to be consistently good and take care of the basketball. But Alp, let me put up Alp's numbers again. Young fella's playing well. Consistent 3 blocks tonight as well for Alp. 17 points, 8 boards, 3 blocks. Alp had 3 turnovers. 3 of the team, 16. Let me see. Total Rocket starters, out of the team 16 turnovers, the Rocket starters had 13. Not ideal. Not ideal. All right, let me see. KDC, what's up? About the defense, Magic's defense, right? This season, just try to outscore people. They're just going to try to outscore you, which is another sign of a young team, young talented team. Defense kind of is one of the last things young teams learn how to do well, is play good team defense and communicate on defense. We saw a lot of breakdowns tonight defensively for the Rockets. Not communicating. Pick and roll defense was kind of poor. Drop coverage was poor. Back screens, gave up layups to OG. So they got to talk. We saw during the game, Jalen Green and Jabari talking sometimes about you should have done this. Jason Nix talking to, I think, Jabari, I thought you were going to do this, that kind of stuff. Josh Christopher Allen, he's just out of the rotation. Let me see. Garrison Matthews. That's basically it, Allen. It's nothing more than that. Because I've talked to colleagues, and they're like, who's he going to take? Whose minutes will he take? Garrison Matthews, 0 for 3 from 3 in a little under 4 minutes. I know he has a green light, but 2 of those 3-point attempts, I wasn't really a fan of those. So last I saw with Cade tonight, Cade was like 1 for 11, 0 for 6 from the floor. He was struggling. Cade Cunningham he's in the funk right now. How ironic. Cade Cunningham struggled while Keaton Hayes shot the ball well. So one of those things, Twilight Zone kind of stuff. So, Rogue, how are you doing? Thanks for chiming in. But how do I like Gruber, Eason, and KJ together in a lineup. Brandon Thomas, Mr. 33 wins. How are you doing? Thank you for chiming in. But I like Usman on the floor, Atari, and KJ. Good versatility in their front court. Offense is not consistent yet with that trio, but defensively they give effort, rebound, steals, blocks, give a little bit of everything from that trio. Usman Garuba has earned his minutes. He's earned minutes he's got. I think he should be playing more. So he should be playing more. What was it? His 14 minutes he got? Yeah, 14:04. I'd like to see him get closer to 20 minutes a game, see what he can do in those minutes. KPJ and Jalen both played 40 minutes, 27 seconds tonight. That's, to me, probably 4 minutes too high for each of them. But don't play again until Saturday. So maybe that's part of the logic there for them playing 40 minutes plus. Going with the gut kind of feeling. But yeah, Fred VanVleet, he had Scoot's dribble sometimes timed perfectly. Pump back, whatever. Fred's like, give me that. At least 3 times he took the ball from KPJ. And KPJ's pride was like, oh, you going to do me like that? I got to go back at you. Didn't do as great as Fred did. but Fred VanVleet's a vet, knows the tricks. Even got called a few times, or one time for sure for one of those tricks, a little shove off on Jabari. Good defense by Jabari there. Stayed with him, kept his feet. Well, let's put that question up for discussion. Pistons get Wemby, Rockets get Scoot. Who says no? And of course, we're assuming Detroit wins the lottery. Rocket fans, what do I think about that? Because Rogue Blues is a Pistons fan, and I'm kind of curious how he found out about Let's Talk Houston Rockets stream as a Pistons fan. But Rocket fans probably would say no. I think Detroit fans would be thrilled to death with that. But so I'm good with that. But let's see. Brandon says, I'm currently on track. Yeah, you said 3-10. Yep, you did. All right, Brandon. Well, do you think that third win will come this Saturday in New Orleans against the Pelicans? Because the Pelicans do kind of play, they go through the motions. They're just like, whatever. Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then like wake up and flip a switch. So they might kind of coast against the Rockets Saturday for a bit, and then we'll see if the Rockets can get that dub on Saturday. We shall see. I think some of my colleagues are going to be in New Orleans for that game. I had thought about going, but just didn't happen for me like I had hoped. But Scoot Henderson, Jalen Green would be nice. But Wemby and Jalen Durham would be nicer. Just putting that out there. Nobody asked me that, but I'm just putting it out there. Jalen Durham and Wemby. Ooh, boy, that'd be something right there. Cheers. But once again, Rockets lost 116-109 to the Raptors to fall to 2-10 on the season. Jalen Green, solid game. The 4 turnovers were bad. 2 for 6 from 3, not ideal, but 6 boards. That was good to see. 6 assists for Jalen was good also. So he had some positives, and so yes, Rogue, but I am a Piston fan, but I'm media covering the Rockets, so I can't be a fan of the Rockets covering them. I just think that's a conflict to me. So okay, so you'll say Brandon's making a prediction: the Rockets will beat the Pels, 117-108. Okay, we shall see. You just want to get your third win. So, well, okay, Rogue, Solo got this tandem for you. How about that? Wimby and Jabari will be fired. What do you say to that, Rogue Blue? It's both teams. I think. Let's see, Detroit's 3-9 now. Rockets 2-10. Is that right? Something like that. Benny Mac, comment. Like I said, I was kind of surprised that. Oops, I just lost it. There we go. About LP not finishing the game. I was surprised. I was surprised by that. Didn't agree with the decision myself. So I'm hoping that he was asked about it in postgame. We'll find out if that part of it will be posted for media to hear. We shall see. But I was surprised that LP was on the bench those final, 3 minutes of the game? Let me check the official. I think you're right on the exact time he was taken out of the game. Let's see. Let me see. Yep. With 3:36 left in the game, Rockets were down 6, 109-103 when KJ Martin came in for Tari and Eric Gordon came in for LP. So in the final 3:36, Rockets got 2 layups, 1 missed layup. KJ made another finger roll layup. Jabari missed a 3-pointer. Jalen missed a 3-pointer. And then Eric missed a layup again to finish the ball game. So the Raptors in that final 3:36, let's see. OG got a dunk, a cutting dunk, back door open, like a communication by the Rockets on defense. Fred VanVleet got a layup. Scottie Barnes got a tip dunk. Fred VanVleet missed a pull-up jumper, and then Scottie Barnes missed a left-hand hook and a put-back layup. But the Rockets just didn't get enough rebounds down the stretch either. That was also a concern down the stretch for the ball game to seal the deal, to help them get through. D. Titus. Oh, this is a good question. I mean, Brandon, I see your question about LP. Final 3:36. LP had only 2 fouls, so he was not in foul trouble. That was not the issue. Maybe he was tired. I don't know, but I thought he should have been on the floor in those last 3 minutes. Turnovers, a skill issue. Depends on the turnover. Some of the ones that Scoop got tonight against Fred VanVleet were just Fred taking the ball from him. So I think that's scouting, and Fred kind of learned, looking at video, film, whatever, how to time Scoop's moves. So give credit to Fred on some of those, and then KPJ's got to go into his bag for more tricks. But this is the first game back for Jabari in terms of being healthy, because I don't think he was healthy at all against Orlando, coming back, being out for a week and being sick, really sick. So double for him. So hopefully it'll be a start for him, that he starts playing well. Got to be healthy to play well. So let's see. What I take, Jalen and Cade are the best players. Ooh, no. Not right now. No. Eventually, maybe from the 2021 draft. Cade struggling to make shots right now from 3, especially. But mid-range games, teams are taking that from him the last few games, and he's not making anything else. So 21 draft, Scottie Barnes is good. Evan Mobley's good. A lot of good players in that draft. I think we'll see that going forward for a while. This is Good point here, Brandon. Let me pull this up. For as athletic as Kevin Porter Jr. is, he gets beat defensively too much. So, and Jalen to an extent too, are that I don't know if they're trying too aggressive on defense for overplays, or I, it's just, and yeah, WK, I agree with you. KJ Martin been Rock's best player, most consistent player these first 12 games. Agree. Yes, agree. Based on what my man Kelly Eco, with the Athletic reported, it sounds like, and amazing how things turn, because I thought it as well, and a lot of folks did in media, Rocket fans too, that KJ Martin was not in the Rockets' short-term plan, let alone long-term plans. His dad asked for a trade, and they were not happy with his role. The Rockets staff changed his role, moved him more to the small forward spot, got him more involved offensively, moved him around the floor a little bit more, different spots on the court, and he's taking advantage of injuries to Jayshawn Tate, injuries to front court teammates, and he's got it done. He's got it done. So salute him for that. So, but back to, and I'll say this, and Rogue Blue, if you're still on, chime in with this as well. Jalen Green and KPJ are more athletic than Cade Cunningham. But all three of them, their one-on-one defense is poor. They don't play angles well enough, smart enough. They don't know how to turn ball handlers to spots where they want them to go. You always seem to allow the ball handler to go wherever they want to go. So there's, you got to learn. Part of defense is you got to be smart. Okay? Scout your opponent, know their tendencies, and then take them from them. Make them do things you want them to do rather than what they want to do. So you got to be a smart defensive player. And if you're athletic and quick, long arms, use those things to your advantage in terms of steering them, make them go left. And then if they try to make a quick dribble back to the right, be ready for it. Get your footwork ready. Don't cross your feet. Okay? You got to move lateral. Don't turn them hips too wrong, be off balance. Another thing. Scoot off balance too much on defense. So that's a defensive, that's a habit thing, which, I said a little bit, but not a lot. I'm still kind of waiting for Lionel Hollins to have an impact on the Rockets defense. So I expected more from the Rockets defensively than what I've seen so far. And this is a good point here. You got to contest without fouling. So that's part of it. That's learning. And let's be real, that's also getting respect from the referees, despite what the NBA says. Okay? And see, Brandon, you're walking into my point. Because throughout training camp, the players, the coaches, everybody talked about defense was going to be a focal point. It's going to be a key for them. Stop the opponents, crash the boards, complete the defensive possession with the defensive board, and then get out and go. Well, I haven't seen it so far. I have not seen enough of it so far. So, but Rockets are one of the best rebounding teams in the league. Raptors won the boards tonight by 1, 50-49. So, but there were points of the game where the Rockets got a stop, but did not get the board, did not get the defensive rebound. Raptors had 22 offensive rebounds. 22. 25-21 Raptors in second chance points. 23-19 Raptors in fast break points. That's 8 points difference right there. Total. Raptors won by 7. So that's things you got to fix right there. So I'm surprised at that. The defense. And to me, great defensive teams typically start from the perimeter. And I'll say going backwards. Bad defensive teams struggle keeping teams out of the paint. Their perimeter defense is garbage. They get blown by way too much. Because once you get beat off the dribble out front, your teammates got to collapse in the paint. The rotations have got to be tight. All those things break down because you're too busy. You're getting beat off the dribble way too much. That's a Rockets issue. Goodness knows it's a Detroit issue. Oh my gosh. Whew, boy. But I'm waiting for Lionel Hollins to put his imprint stamp on his defense. When he was brought on staff, many folks thought the Rockets would become a, more grit and grind, kind of physical defensive team. They're not there yet. We're seeing Tari Eason can do it. Jason Tate would help. Healthy Jason Tate would help that, of course. Jabari been sick, so that hasn't helped. Bruno Fernando's physical presence would help some. But specifically, Jalen Green and KPJ have to do a better job one-on-one defensively. But also, they need help from their teammates to call off the screens that are coming left, right. How are you positioned? So they know which way to steer the ball handler. It's a lot of stuff that little things here and there that they need to fix. So I'm waiting for it to happen. It needs to happen in order for the Rockets to become a better defensive team in the half court. They got it. They have. I mean, they said they were going to do it. They haven't done it yet. So time will tell them on how long that will take. But we see it far too much. We've seen it far too much in these first 12 games that if KPJ is man up with his guy with the ball, high screen coming, either real quick, Terry, how are you doing? I wonder if you're going to join us, be able to make it, Terry from New Zealand. He looks left, right for where the pick is, and instead of knowing where it is because somebody has not told him, and as soon as he turns his head, ball's going by. That's communication. That's not knowing where everybody's supposed to be. You got to talk soon enough and be able to be quick enough to keep the ball out of the paint. Waffles 266. That's a good question. And let me say this to Brandon's question. I'll get to Waffles in just a second. When I asked some colleagues about Jacob, lack of minutes, the DNP CDs, I was laughed at. I was laughed at. They're like, KG, why are you asking about him being doghouse? Who's he gonna take? Whose minutes will he replace? That was my answer that was the answer they gave me. I was like, well, what about Garrison Matthews? So, I mean, right now, Josh is out of the rotation. That's just where it is. Now, this question, do I think the Rockets will string a few wins together? He'll help. I think he'll help from a defensive standpoint a little. He'll help his physical presence will help. His ability to be a lob threat will help. But I'm not sure I wouldn't say Bruno's return will be the cure-all to what ails the Rockets. It'll be a help. So Let's go with that. I've seen him. He's getting closer. I'm going to say I'm not a doctor, but I've seen him in practice. Well, after practice, he's shooting around 3-pointers, shots, things like that. So he's getting there. He's just not there yet. Let's see. Brandon, he's talking about going to the G League. Josh, sending Jake up to the G League. I mean, I guess it's still an option. So he won't get rusty or anything like that, or maybe even lose confidence. But, Ty Washington was on the bench. Was it, did not play, coach's decision. So Ty and Jacob in the backcourt did not play. DNP, CD. No Boban. This is a question here as well. Why they go away from LP in the post? Well, I think LP had more success against Chris and Koloko than did anybody else. So when Kristen went out with the 5 fouls, it was kind of different, So I wonder about this. I thought about this as well. Solo. Will Bruno start once he gets healthy in place of LP? Kind of curious about that because LP's playing well right now. Offensively, he, Jalen, and KPJ are getting better and more comfortable as a trio, in terms of looks, touches, when to get yours, so on. So I'm kind of curious to see what coach will do once Bruno gets cleared medically to play again. So, Brandon, I'm surprised that Tata hasn't gone down to the G League. He's just got cleared medically. Go get him some run before we bring him up to the show. So maybe he will tomorrow, Friday, whatever. But just to have him up now. So we shall see. But also, maybe that'll happen when Jayshawn Tate returns to action and gets cleared. So maybe that's a reason why Jacob or Tata has not gone down to the Vipers just yet. Once again, Rockets had 16 turnovers tonight in the 7-point loss in Toronto. And the Raptors converted those 16 turnovers into 31 points. 31 points. Flip side, the Rockets scored 13 points off the Raptors' 13 turnovers. So points off turnovers, difference of 18. Another factor in the Rockets' 7-point loss in Toronto. There we go. Ty been to the G League. There we go. So, and it makes sense. So I call that. Forgot the email already, but so we shall see how it all plays out. Brandon Thomas, Rocket fans, in case you missed it, he's already made a prediction that the Rockets will beat the Pelicans this Saturday in New Orleans. I think the score is the prediction was 117-108 by Mr. 33 wins, Brandon Thomas. So go place your bets. And if you lose that bet, blame Brandon Thomas. So he said it. But Rockets, the turnovers, and clearly 31 points off 16 turnovers indicates many of those were live ball turnovers. Live ball turnovers. So those are the worst kind because, if you throw the ball out of bounds, it's a dead ball. You give your defense a chance to set up. But if it's a live ball turnover, it's in action, and just your opponent can just get up and go and beat you down the floor in transition. So live ball turnovers. But yes, Brandon, Mr. 33 wins, predicted the Rockets will win in New Orleans this Saturday. 7:30 tip-off is going to be on NBA TV. So Rockets play after that Monday home against the Clippers on the 14th. Then they go to Dallas on the 16th to play Luka and the Mavs. And didn't Dallas lose tonight? Dallas lost. Where did Dallas lost a low-scoring game too. They lost to Orlando. Orlando beat Dallas 94-87 tonight. So just one of those things. But yeah, once again, Brandon Thomas predicts that the Rockets will pick up win number 3 to make his preseason prediction of 3-10 after the first 13 correct. He didn't have a choice. He wants to be right on that pick. So Brandon Thomas, Rockets will beat the Pelicans this Saturday, NBA TV, as well as I'm sure, I assume, AT&T Sportsnet. But I'm going to wrap it up there, good people. We'll do another show, post-game show this Saturday, right? I think so. I'm not sure what time UH football is playing. I think that game is in the morning, I think. But yeah. So barring a conflict with UH football and our Let's Rage Cougs post-game shows also on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. So we're going to do a post-game show after the Rockets Pels. And based on Brandon Thomas's prediction, we'll be discussing Rockets win. So just look for that this Saturday. And Brandon, be here participating in the show, in the discussion, win or lose. Okay, be here. So be here. Don't fade away if the Pels beat the Rockets Saturday. So probably looking at 10:30 for a post-game show this Saturday. So we all good. Brandon says he'll be here. Excellent. All right. That'll wrap it up. Once again, Rockets lost 116-109 to the Toronto Raptors to fall to 2-10 this season. Had some good production from some of the guys, just not enough to get the dub. 21 points from Jalen Green. Alp 17, 8 and 3 blocks. Jabari 15 and 10. Tari Eason 14, 6, 5 assists, 5 steals. He was 5 for 15 from the floor. KJ 13 points. Scoot 12 points. And was it 10 assists for Scoot? 11 assists for Scoot. But he'd also have 4 turnovers. So he and Jalen had 8 of the team's 16 miscues. So got to clean that up. So there we go. What are we saying? WK, what'd you say? The home team is on pace to win less than 25 at this point. WK, you put out logic there, man. Brandon predicted Rockets would win 33 games 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And he said the same thing last year. He's just consistent. That's why he's Mr. 33 wins. So that's all. That's what this is, man. So it's all good. Yeah, WK, that's what it is. Brandon said that for a while. He's just being consistent. So salute his consistency because, unfortunately, Brandon's more consistent than the Rockets have been and are playing right now thus far this young season. So on that note, be here again this Saturday night. Tell your friends about the show. We're going to talk post-game about the Rockets. Saturday, hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel. As you can tell lately, I'm getting out and about to local teams, talking to Rice, UH, will be at Rice tomorrow for a double hitter. The UH men on the road Friday for basketball, the third-ranked Houston Cougars men's basketball team will be on the road this Friday. Game will be on CBS Sports Network against St. Joseph. And then the Cougs men's team will be in action, Friday, Monday, and Wednesday. Anybody who's a TSU alum, TSU, next Wednesday, inside Fertitta Center, part of the Cougar Classic, Houston versus Texas Southern. Be there. So thank you very much for that. Oh, and Max Asmus, one of the highest scoring point guards in college hoops. Oral Roberts will be in town on Monday. So Max Asmus going against Marcus Sasser. That should be a fun one. But of course, you guys will be watching Rockets and the Clippers. But, if you do want to steer yourself to another game, just saying. But as always, Brandon, thank you very much to all the family folks. Alan Luna, WK, Wabas266, Brandon, Mr. 33 Wins, KDC, Solo D-Lo, the folks who did not chime in but watched, thank you as well. Deborah Grant, thank you. Terry Agent in New Zealand, thank you as well. I think I got everybody who made a comment. Salute to all of you for taking time out to share your thoughts and opinions on the Rockets. Appreciate it. Hit the like button. Tell your friends about it. Subscribe to the channel. More content in store. And I might have a surprise for you later on. We shall see. You guys take care. Peace.